What's going on, Dope fam? Back with another video. Hope you guys have been doing well. For today's video, going to do some Bitcoin market analysis. We had quite a bit of a dump today. It's looking like it's just going to be a week, but I will tell you guys the implications of this and if we're still going to have a green September. But without further ado, I'm Dope Oxide. I make content on YouTube, X, and CoinMarketCap, so be sure to follow those pages. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. First of all, for liquidations have jumped massively. We're finally getting that volatility that I told you guys about. And when it comes to liquidations are nearing our $750 million inflection point level. And it's on the long side, as you guys can see. And what that means is, more than likely, we're going to have at least a relief bounce, if not a reversal. And something to note as well is long-short ratio is really on the short side. So that just tells me majority of the traders are shorting the markets. And usually that tends to mean higher prices because of short squeezes occurring shortly after. Next up is liquidation heat map. Clearly see the late longers got liquidated. And if I zoom out, as you guys can see, most of the liquidations are now above us. So that just tells me more than likely these shorts, late shorters, will get squeezed eventually. And we might just see a massive uptick in the price. Before I continue on the latter part of the video, I'm going to be playing a segment that sponsors the channel. If you guys are looking for the fastest trading bot to add to your suite, I do recommend the BaseBot. BaseBot is the fastest trading bot on any chain that have support for Ethereum, Base, Binance Smart Chain, etc. And personally, I use it for my trading suite for degen trading. It has the fastest transaction speeds. It has multi-wallet support. It has support for Base, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Solana, etc. And my most favorite thing about the bot is it has full anti-MEV protection, so you don't have to worry about getting sandwich attacked on any EVM chains. But when it comes to Base Trading Bot, it is the fastest Telegram trading bot, and personally I use it. Be sure to click on the link in the description below, and thank you for supporting the channel, and I will continue now to our next segment of this video. Alright, cool. So next part of the video is, of course, Ethereum to Bitcoin. As usual, Ethereum to Bitcoin is consolidating below our trend line, and nothing has really changed until we actually get a successful break above, which is currently as it stands around the 0.04 region. Our invalidation level, I would say, is at our previous accumulation range. We accumulate for quite a few weeks at that 0.032 level. Of course, we're nowhere near that, but when it comes to that, we'll of course want to have our invalidation levels. But nonetheless, all noise. We just want this to break out to either to the upside or downside and have those confirmations. And of course, if we do break out the 0.04 level, I do expect alt season to occur, and more than likely our base native token asset have a massive uptick in price. Next up is the Ethereum to USD chart, and let me just go down to the 4 hour. Really, this dump only just started basically this morning when I woke up, and as you guys can see, pretty much as soon as we got that rejection below the trend line that I'd drawn out here, so that 4.48k level, we had that close below, and now we're just having continuation once again today. And this just tells me these inflection levels are super important, and we really need to get above these resistance points. But of course, pretty clear, Ethereum couldn't hold on, and we dumped further today. Next up is Bitcoin, and interestingly, Bitcoin's looking more bullish than Ethereum, and as you guys can see, this bull flag I've drawn up for pretty much the past few weeks has been a really good testament on how strong Bitcoin really is. We've tested it multiple times, and just in the past few hours, we actually wicked below and actually closed above. I really want to see Bitcoin hold above this bull flag, because that just tells me this dump is just a dump to really weed out the late longers and just reset the market sentiment. Because on CT right now, a lot of people are getting bearish here, and it'll be quite funny if they get bearish at the local lows. This just tells me once again, we're getting really close to our inflection point for liquidations, and crypto Twitter is getting bearish once again at the lows. So I would not be surprised at the very least we see a relief bounce, see a local bottom, and bounce from here, if not a reversal. Next up is Turtle 3. Turtle 3 really, it just looks perfectly normal. We're having a little bit of retracement. I know a lot of people get really caught in the noise. If we go to how September has actually been performing, let me check the monthly chart. So monthly chart, Ethereum is red today. When I go to the monthly for September, of course, we're red because it only just went red today. But if I go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is technically still green on the monthly. As you guys can see, a clear green monthly candle for Bitcoin. And Total 3, same goes. If I go to the Total 3 1 month, yep, green September, and same goes for others. So once again, September has been green. It has not been bearish at all, and we're just having a typical retracement and a flush of market sentiment, a flush of liquidations, because it seems to me that the markets were quite over leveraged over the weekend, and we're just waiting for new lows to get printed to have some really nice reversals. Next up is stock market. Stock market is grinding up as usual, looking very bullish and just making a nice little parabolic move to the upside. Of course, parabolic moves tend to always end to the downside. Next up is, of course, Toshi. Toshi has some really nice updates on the chart because I did tell you guys Toshi got listed on Binance, Perps, and also Upbit and BitHum, which is the largest Korean exchanges. And really, I do expect more listings to come for Toshi. But minus the news, minus the listings, the Toshi chart looks very good. As you guys can see, we're holding above our major key trend lines. So our first key trend line is the accumulation level at the 0.0075 region, as well as our downward consolidation line. If I go to the lower time frame, this green line has been tested as resistance multiple times, as you guys can see. So if I zoom back, resistance, 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 resistance. This tells me clearly that if we can hold this and flip this as support, I do expect a reversal for Toshi and a continuation to the upside. And I would not be surprised we have more listings to come during October, which will really project the price to the upside. And just another reminder, guys, really Toshi just has to hold above the 7.7 level. If not the 7.5, 7.5 would be still fine as well. But I really want to see daily closes above 7.7, which will of course mean Toshi is intact. New higher highs and higher lows are intact. Because I've told you guys so many times, Toshi has been holding higher lows since basically April of this year and has had equal highs. So as long as we can keep this trend intact, I do expect all-time highs to come for Toshi. Next up is the altcoin season chart, and something really weird is happening for the altcoin season index. You guys might have seen on my thumbnail. And as you guys can see, we had a printing over the weekend at 100. And that 100 printing has never been printed since basically, January 2018. And you guys might be thinking, how is the altcoin season index printing 100 numbers when the charts for altcoins aren't actually doing well? And to be honest, my answer is, I'm not sure. Like, I think there actually might be some issues with this altcoin season index. And of course, this is why we have to look at multiple indicators, because this index also has different ways of looking at it. You can actually look at the yearly index. And as you guys can see from that yearly index, like, this doesn't look right to me. I think the index actually has bugged out. I just might have to report this data back to you guys once this is fixed. Because, yeah, this is obviously wrong. No way we can just spike up like this. It hasn't been done before, and it just doesn't look right to me. Usually it takes multiple weeks to have a reading like this. Same goes for the monthly view. The monthly view has had a really good spike to the upside to the 100 level. And yeah, it just doesn't look natural to me. It looks like there is an issue with the index. So I would not be following what it says currently as it stands right now. Because who knows, it could have been wrong for the past few weeks and we just haven't noticed until now. Next up is the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Let me just give it a refresh. As you guys can see, we finally had a fearful print today, which is good to see. Ideally, I would like some extreme fear prints, but we might not get that because we're later in the end of the cycle. But at the very least, I just want to see some fearful prints because that just tells me the market sentiment is resetting, leverage is getting reset, and this just tells me people are getting bearish right at the lows, and more than likely we can see a bounce from here. So next up is tweets. First tweet is by me. Your friendly reminder, another day goes by. Toshi is the #1 cat coin. Just wait and see once the cat category takes over the dog meme coin market share. There isn't a world where I don't see the #1 cat coin run to deck of billions at least once in the bull market. Billions. So something very important to tell you guys. Like, look, Toshi is the #1 cat meme coin as it stands. And something interesting we can take out of this. So Mogcoin and Popcat were originally the #1 cat coins in the past. And if we look at that charts previously, when markets were doing very well, example back in December of 2024, Mogcoin actually went to over $1 billion. It actually tagged the $1.5 billion level. And if I look at Popcat as well, Popcat actually hit nearly $2 billion in November 2024. So what does that tell us? What it tells us is basically the #1 cat coin of the category. Once the market goes well, it usually tends to run to multiple billions. And of course, Toshi hasn't had that multiple $1 billion run yet. And I really do think as long as Toshi holds the #1 cat coin position and markets do well, I really do think that is also another indicator on why I think that Toshi will go to multiple billions. It's the #1 base meme coin of base chain. It's the #1 cat coin. There is so many narratives to really push Toshi. And another thing as well is, if Toshi does get Binance Spot, it's basically the first meme coin in the past 2 years to get Coinbase, to get Upbit, to get Kraken, to get Binance, and other major exchanges. So it's really good to see Toshi has so many exchanges where retail really use, and more than likely once we get that next retail influx of users, I do expect Toshi to go to the multiple billion-dollar range. Of course, it will take time. The way Toshi is going, I really like how it's developing price action very slowly. It's not going majorly parabolic like it did when it got listed on Coinbase. As you guys can see, usually parabolic runs take a long time to actually digest and recover. Hence why from the Coinbase listing, Toshi actually dipped, what was it? It dipped 91% in 80 days. And that just tells me this higher low and higher high price action is really showing how strong Toshi is. And once it really gets moving, once the parabolic move really starts, we have a lot of legs and upside potential, just purely based on the fact we've created a really strong foundation, a really strong level of supports, and so many narratives have really pushed Toshi, as well as having good timings to add these Toshi listings. Because I really do believe once Toshi gets a lot of these listings, it'll be great timing, because more than likely base chain in general, TVL, volume, etc. will be much higher than it is right now. The next tweet is by Bit Elite. Somebody is intentionally breaking altcoin season index. 2 days ago, the index on yearly was 39 where it should be, and somehow total manipulation in days goes bananas 100. This is by design. This is done the same day on daily, weekly, and yearly. Somebody's faking the numbers in order for people to think that we're at the top of altcoins. Real yearly alt index is below 39 now. So there's two ways to go about this. One, it was actually manipulated. I don't think that would be the more likely outcome. I would just say it just bugged out. But let's see. If they don't actually fix this in the next few weeks or so, I can probably deem it as more than likely it was manipulated. So let's see about that. Because yeah, I really do think this 100 print was fake. It was either manipulated or just a bug on the indicator. Next tweet is by CryptoFi. Altcoin's strong bounce confirmed on the higher time frames, now aligning with key oscillators. RSI has finally broken out of a long-term downtrend, indicating a major trend shift on the table. A breakout above the white bar level equals fireworks across the altcoin market. Zoom out, ignore the noise, stay focused. So as you guys can see on the 1 month time frame, which is very significant, having oscillators starting to print positive, and the RSI just broke out of a downtrend. So this basically tells us seller exhaustion is in, buyers are stepping in, specifically for the others to Bitcoin chart. Generally, if this others Bitcoin chart is breaking out to the upside, I do expect massive alt seasons to occur, more than likely a base native token asset to go absolutely wild. And as you guys can see, like basically the top was in 2022, and we've just been on this massive wedge since. So basically, as long as we hold these higher lows and higher highs, we're probably going to break out of this wedge and make new highs, which of course means base season to come. So that's all to the video, guys. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to sign up to Base Trading Bot with the link in the description below. I personally use it to snipe new coins and degen trade over on Base Chain. So be sure to sign up with the link in the description below. It helps the channel. I appreciate for signing up. But yeah, that's all to the video, guys. Hope you have a good one. Hope you have a good day. Be sure to like and subscribe. Peace.